It's time to take a look at the headlines on Nigerian newspapers today, Monday. And I have with me to make sense of all of this in the studio, some of our regulars here. Shujibumi Adebi Bennett is here in the studio. Good morning, Shujibumi. Nice to see you. Thank you. And I also have Dr. Dayo Kayode, a political technocrat here. Nice to have you join me.
My pleasure.
Great.
Joining you. Mike, how was the weekend?
Very fine. It was a great weekend, I must say. All right, let's start from Daily Independent. Daily Independent says, crude oil price recovery not enough to ease forex woes. Crude oil price recovery not enough to ease forex woes. And the different exchange rates still way down on exchange market. Foreign exchange market. Rates unification key to calm market. The APCON president is saying this. Okay, recall that there was a call sometime to unify all the different exchange rates in the country. Now let's move to Daily Times. Daily Times says Azman incidents exposed lapses in aviation sector. Azman is an airline in Nigeria. Azman incidents exposed lapses in aviation sector. That's Daily Times. From there, let's go to the Business AM. Business Morning. Business AM says SIPEM secretly plots Nigerian local content exclusion on the NLNG Train 7. Okay, that's core business issues there. Leadership newspaper is next. And it says, despite federal government's 11 trillion naira allocation in 4 years, 9.12 trillion naira loans, Nigeria still in poor state. Despite federal government's 11 trillion allocation in 4 years, 9.12 or 9.12 trillion naira loans, Nigeria still in poor state. Okay, we'll certainly be discussing this as we open discussion shortly. National economy is next. USSD 42 billion naira debt. Telcos seek regulators' intervention, insist banks must pay. Oh yeah. Telcos seek regulators' intervention, insist the banks must pay. That's on the USSD 42 billion naira debt. Okay, from there, from the national economy, let's go to News Direct. News Direct says federal government generates 1.64 trillion naira from oil, non-oil sectors in 2 months. The CBN is saying this. Okay, that's a lot of money, I must say. That's News Direct. Business Day is next, and it says Nigeria's March inflation widens, negative real return on investment rather. Nigeria's March inflation widens, negative real return on investment. Okay, that's a Business Day. Tribune is next, and it says PDP others mount pressure on Buhari to sack Pantami as the Minister of Communication. That's the Tribune newspaper there. Blueprint newspaper is next, and Jonathan replies ex-governor Aliu on 2015, you are a pathetic reference seeker. Okay, there's a political issues in there, or political relevance seeker rather. Okay, relevance seeker, you are a pathetic relevance seeker. Okay, from there let's go to the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper says $2.1 billion refund will kill state's economy. As the governors are saying this. $2.1 billion refund will kill state's economy. All hands should be on deck to revive economy. Emefiele vindictive, say the PDP governors. Recall that the CBN governor was saying that the monies that were given to states, they haven't paid back, and it's time to pay back. So he's bringing up all of this now. We'll certainly, if we have time, we'll talk about that when we open discussions. The Punch newspaper is next. Punch says experts fault CBN governor. The National Economic Nigeria Economic Summit Group says a 60 billion naira printing not sustainable. And you certainly have the opinion of Professor Patutomi and Dr. Obadiah Lafia there, who was one-time CBN deputy governor. That's the Punch newspaper. From there, let's go to Daily Trust. Terrorism financing. This is another issue. Dozens arrested in nationwide crackdown. BDC operators, gold dealers, others netted in. Billions strapped. More businessmen marked for arrest. Military personnel affected. And union calls for speedy investigation. Okay, that's Daily Trust. Of course, if we have time, we'll also talk about this as we get along. The Vanguard newspaper is next. And Vanguard says, alleged printing of 60 billion naira, APC PDP governors at war over Obaseki's claims. Obaseki is wrong. APC governors insist, say his accusation unfortunate, urge CBN's Emefiele not to be distracted. Leave Obaseki alone, PDP governors warn the federal government, APC governors. His claims can't be spurious. Wike is saying this. All right, all of this on the back and forth on the Vanguard newspaper. The Sun newspaper is next. And Bloody Day, that's the shouting headlines there. And shunned promoters of breakup, federal government tells Nigerians, yeah. And the 18-seater bus plunges into river in Ondo State, really troubling. Scores feared dead as fuel tanker explodes in Benue. And gunmen kill one as police kill 6 bandits, injure many in Niger State. Okay, that's the Daily Sun. The last one we're looking at right now is the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian. The Guardian says hurdles for air travelers as nation's OK vaccine passport. Hurdles for air travelers as nation's OK vaccine passport. A subtle discrimination awaits global travel, tourism in a two-tier world. Experts divided over policy, rally for improved vaccination locally. All right, all this on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Okay, now, gentlemen, let's begin with the story on the front page of the Leadership newspaper that says, despite federal government's 11 trillion naira allocation in 4 years, and 9.12 trillion naira loans, Nigeria still in poor state. Dr. Kayode, I'd like you to start with this. You see this headline, what really comes to you?
You see, what normally pains me when we're discussing issues like this.
Issues of money?
All these issues of national development.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder whether government do listen. I mean, they listen as if they are saying rubbish. You see, Mike, as much as we are going this route, Nigeria will continue to be poor. I'll give you this analogy. Look at how big this table is. The three of us sitting down. Let's assume this table to be cake. And then we're eating it.
It's good I'll be in the center of it. So
it doesn't still matter. It doesn't still matter. Wherever you are, you have access to it, and you are eating it. And then some other people now see us eating it. They decide to join us again. And meanwhile, you are also reproducing, and we are joining. Okay? But we are not looking for how to bake another cake.
Because more people will join. Because
more people are joining. Not that more people will join. More people are joining. What was our population in 1957? What was our population in 1970? What is our population now? You see, when you are distributing, look at the issue of printing of money, 60 billion or whatever. Government doesn't need to do all this. How do we get out of this quagmire that we are? Are we going to be complaining day in, day out about the poor state of Nigeria without looking at the solutions and then following those solutions? One, what is wrong with our government for not wanting to allow modular refineries? Yes, the refineries that we have, they are moribund. They are olden days, whatever.
Well, but now, for that one to be fair, some licenses were revoked because those who got them couldn't
who are the people that those licenses were given to? It's not like me now as an aviation expert. Somebody is giving me license for broadcasting instead of giving it to you. What do I know in broadcasting? Do you understand? And when I now call you, when I call you to come and join me, definitely you want to take over. Because you will be feeling a kind of aspersion towards me. I don't have two heads. You also have the same kind of head I have. So, and that is why those people that were giving those licenses will not make it work. That is one. If we are refining our this thing here, you cannot imagine the quantum of employment and economic activities that will arise through that, even around it. Okay? Leave that apart. I was in Ibadan last week. I was driving through that Sango Ojo road. Precisely in front of UI, Agbowo, you have Leland. I looked at that compound, very expensive. Where is Leland today? You know how many people were working there before? Yeah. Do you know what we have there now? One small church. I was shedding tears.
It's really troubling.
Go to Oba Akran. Look at that Dunlop. Where is Dunlop today? Look at CIL. Where is CIL today? On off Akilo, wherever. Instead of even churches building 2 billion auditorium, 5 billion auditorium, I want to be the biggest church. Put money in all those areas, and you see how our economy will improve.
All right.
Now, all this money that you are printing, we're not saying you shouldn't print money, but don't print money to eat. Print money to invest, so that it will have effect on our economy.
Okay.
Before you know it, we will get out of this poor state quagmire that we are in.
All right, Shijibumi, in 4 years, 11 trillion naira, and in addition to 9 trillion, that's about 20 trillion naira that was accruable to the government one way or the other, partly from borrowing and from whatever was generated. Yet we're still talking about the basic things up until now. Although we see some railway projects, across the country that is picking up and so on. But Nigerians are not necessarily impressed with if you put that money on one side and then see what development that the Nigerians have access to.
There is no money in that money we just called now.
Oh, there's no money in that money we called. Wow.
The challenge we have is we see ourselves as a rich country, and we're not. And part of the problem, let me just, because I like to put points down. Number one is the fact that we're a planless country. We don't plan. Number two is the fact that we're not committed, patriotic citizens. Every time I've lost hope in anything coming from the federal, from central. So
would that be a good thing to lose hope?
I've tried to, now I'm trying to focus on the states. What are they doing? He was making an analogy about this table. And part of the fact that we are planless is in our population. 1980, our budget in Naira was $25 billion. 2021, our budget in dollars is $26 billion. Nothing has changed. And the population has increased. In 1960, Nigeria was 45 million people. UK was 52 million people. UK was more than us by 7 million. Now, by year 2020, with all the emigration and everybody trying to go to the UK, from Jamaica, every Commonwealth country, UK became 62 million people. They increased from 52 to 64, 12 million difference in 50 or 60 years. Nigeria increased from 45 million. Not only did we overtake UK, we became 200 million people. The same resources. We've not expanded.
Reduced resources.
So now you want the country not to be poor. How will the country not be poor? And the citizens as well. I was in a place in Ogun State whereby a company was trying to get some resources, just sand and all those things. because they got a contract to supply these people doing construction and doing a lot of things. And the company had already made the road accessible for the community. They had paid the community. And on the day the company was supposed to start, because there was a lull because of some financial constraints. So when they wanted to start afresh, the community people came. It wasn't a story, I was there. The community people came and said, no truck will enter that place. And for a whole day, no truck entered. Because they said they paid that time, but they want to start now and they have to pay again.
Hi.
And so when I say, he mentioned modular refineries, I've asked myself so many times. People have been given licenses. Licenses have been taken, have been revoked. Why? The federal government gives the licenses. Are they going to be on federal lands?
Well,
at the end of the day, when they come back to state lands, Max, please let me just conclude.
Okay.
When they come back to state lands, where is the protection? Where is the security from the state? We all know how it's been done. Before it was south-south. It's now virtually everywhere in the country. You want to site something in your house, you want to build something, there is a Monile crisis. So why can't the governors do an LNG model? Bring in private investors. And the government should put 45%. Let the private investors put the remaining 55%. Have modular refineries everywhere. If 6 states in the south or 9 oil producing states have modular refineries that can produce 50,000 barrels per day, that's 450,000 barrels. That's all. And those refineries can be done in, let's say, 15 months maximum.
Less.
50,000 per day, just 9 of them. They can cater for the whole country. But have you asked yourself, why is it not happening? They have taken our resources to other places, to Dubai, to Lebanon, to Niger, to everywhere where they can refine and import.
And then oppress.
And then they gain profit from there.
That is it. So until we get somebody that is very crazy, that is not ready for second term.
That's crazy you're talking about.
You have to be positively crazy sometimes.
Like Igame.
Yes, you have to
like
be.
Igame.
So until we get that kind of person who is youthful at heart, who knows what, look at what Magufuli did. He had his
in Tanzania
his own, weaknesses and lapses. But look at what he did in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the amount to make things work. So you will know that
even Ghana.
You just forget about it.
Paul Kagame.
Yeah.
Do 4 years and make sure that everybody you chase everybody out. All the what are they called? Saboteurs. Chase them out. And no matter what happens after the 4 years, the country will build on it. We will build on it. So until that time, I don't see us getting out of
let's chase all the crazy out of our ways.
Well, it's okay. Let's move from there to the story on the front page of the Daily Trust. Daily Trust says terrorism financing. Dozens arrested in nationwide crackdown. And the shocking story, part of it here says BDC operators, gold dealers, others netted in, billions trapped, and more businessmen marked for arrest. Military personnel are also affected in all of this. Dr. Kayode, recall that in Dubai, about 6 Nigerians were okay, let me ask Shijibumi this one first before we come to you. Recall that about 6 Nigerians were prosecuted and jailed for financing terrorism. In fact, it created an uproar because Nigerians were like, how come it's a foreign country that is doing this and it's about us and we're not doing anything at home? But the president, when he was leaving for London, gave up a marching order to the army chiefs and said, this should be done. So are we seeing some positivity here?
The orders have come many times, so many times, and there is nothing the orders can, for me, I've lost count of the number of orders the president has given, and the effect cannot be seen. and we have to change the approach. The only thing I'm seeing now, which gives me a kind of hope, is recruitment, because you need numbers to be able to fight those insurgents. So the recruitment into the military. But at the same time, we're still looking at, trying to, solve the effects and not go to the root cause. Now, if you get people into the military, and have we now handed over internal security to the military? The first interface of security in Nigeria is the police. There is nothing done. The last time it was 10,000 people that they wanted to recruit, and it became a problem because the Police Service Commission and the IG
police
went to court on something that should just have been easy to just settle. So the police has now been left. So anything you want to do, go to a police station. I can say it with all certainty. It's not rumor. Everybody knows. Anything happens, you lose your car, somebody stole anything, you have to put down money for investigations to be done. So we have lost that. Unless it's something now very, very political or that can embarrass the government. Then that's when you see IST or IMT unit, they come. Do you know how many people are still kidnapped on a daily basis that you don't hear about? But when it is someone big that you can embarrass, then you see IMT, IRT, all of them coming. So that's the only hope I can have, is when we start from the basics. Recruit minimum of OND, HND, then we can still see the difference in the quality of recruitment when we talk about the Army and when we talk about the FIRSC. The modus operandi of their work. They have also, come down in terms of service delivery, but you can still see a difference. Then training. When did we found the NSCDC? Can you see a difference between the way they work and the police? So these are the things we need to look at. Well, you are just pumping everything into the army. They will be overwhelmed. The new guys that are coming in, do they even have, when are they going to get the requisite experience? You just train them, take them to the battlefield.
It is assumed that they were part of the system, so they've always known how these things work. So it's just the issue of you have the power now, so carry it out. The point there is, when it comes to the crackdown on people who are alleged to be funding or financing terrorism, is that a solution here? As much as that is a very good step in the right direction, as Nigerians will put it.
As much as they can write all this, as much as they can say, even the government itself as of today, is also funding terrorism.
How is that? Break it down for us to understand.
I'm very, very sure about that. How can you bring somebody, what is that his name again? Minister for this, that they say he should resign. Pantani. Who had said so much in the past as regards Al-Qaeda, as regards all those terrorist groups.
There was a report. There was a report at him saying that he had renounced all of those.
Whether he has renounced or not, today, Mike, if you are telling me your name is no more Mike, does it remove your DNA? No, tell me, does it remove your DNA? If you say your name is no more Mike, does it remove your white beards? Does it remove your baritone voice? No. Mike's composition will always be there.
But
so the issue is this.
But is there a possibility
there is no possibility here.
No, hang on. Is there a possibility that when one does a certain thing in a certain way and then you come to a realization and then you change?
Listen,
exactly.
It's just like, okay, it's just like you now saying some of these terrorists that were arrested and they are now taken back to the society, they will still live the same way they will live. Imagine this. Someone that everybody knows had kidnapped, had maimed, had raped, had stolen, had made a lot of people to even vacate their domains. You are now bringing that person back to come and live, arrive with the people. That is not possible. For him to have gone through that route in the past, still makes him to have a these are people he has eaten and dined with in the past. Can you now leave them alone? So what I'm saying is, we have to, one way or the other, be checking people's background before anything. Now, look at all these BDC operators. Look at all these gold dealers. Who is telling you they won't be financing it? The BDC operators, who are the people giving them dollars? We know the way banks operate their activities. I am one of those people that was affected some time ago. We gave money to the bank for our importation, and they were telling us no dollar, we are on the queue. Meanwhile, for how long are we going to be on the queue? But then go to BDC, you will get dollars when banks are not having dollars. It's not like what is happening now with your ATM. You go to ATM machine, you won't get money, but going to the front of that bank, go to, what do they call them now? Those people with POS, you get money, because those people in the bank are the ones operating on those POS. You have a bank having almost 7 ATM machines, none is working, but go to the front of that same bank, POS will be working. So these are issues, and that is why I'm saying government itself is not funding them, because these are people you need to cross-check properly and check their activities. The moment those monies are not there, the moment you are not allowing them to steal our gold and then go and sell and make huge money, they won't have enough money to fund terrorism.
All right. So, Shijibumi, as we round off now, I guess this will be, if the government carries out this crackdown and gets the right people to prosecute them and jail them as the law says, then it means we might be seeing some level of the winning of the war against terrorism in Nigeria.
I don't think the government will do that, because
why do you think
the
so?
government is not just one person. And many personnel in the government, these people got their licenses from them. They have been backed by all these people. And I see a situation whereby some will be scapegoated, and that will be all. But like you said, just cut off the funding. Who are the people, like the Pantani case, I don't really see any issue there, sincerely, because the government, we have the DSS. The only thing you should do is to look at the present connections the guy has.
They would have carried out done the background check on everybody.
Then the BDCs as well. So if
and people, the gold diggers.
When people transact businesses and it's in Dubai, that the Dubai government was able to, to nab them, then that's an embarrassment to us, because they're Nigerians and they have the businesses. They just went there or settled there. So what we should be doing is, what is the checks? We should be doing checks on all these people. Even government personnel now, all these businessmen, especially the BDCs, if the NSAS people, within a little time, they said cryptocurrency was used to fund what they are doing, and they nabbed them. So why can't we do the same thing to BDC people?
Oh, okay. All right, we have to leave it here now. We look forward to greater days ahead for Nigeria and all of the effort as well. Shijibumi Adebi Bennett, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Dr. Daya Kayode, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mike, but please don't change your DNA.
It can't be changed. It's given, except maybe in another life again.